in Group G of the GSL Code S. In the upper left, in the red, he is
Dignitas Seed.
in the bottom right, in the blue.
삼성 갤럭시칸 Deer.
It was actually quite a nice. I like that game, to be honest. I like it when people do really decisive stuff against something that is so normal, and then the normal guy barely holds it.
What's interesting about Seed is he always does that really decisive stuff mid-game. He's not somebody who's just proxying 2 gates in the guy's main and saying, oh, I hope he doesn't look for this, and I hope his control's bad. Seed oftentimes sees the situation and says, okay, if I do these 3 crazy things perfectly, I win.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, and he's actually very right. He gave himself a very good opportunity to win there. He actually opened up better. Well, he got the better end of the opening up, I guess.
Team Peace.
Sick.
Thank you for coming down, man. Also, guys, come down to the studio. We're giving out GSL coins.
Giving them out like they're candy.
Yeah.
Come into the weird GSL van, and we'll give you some GSL coins.
Come into our van with tinted windows and get our GSL coins. And we have giveaways after the show, so yeah.
So far in this game, Seed did go for like a 12 gate versus a 13 gated Deer. Not a big difference. Something to know.
Oh, wow. It is a drawing of Artosis.
Yeah. You know, I've been playing that new game, Grey Goo.
Yeah, Grey Goo. Yeah.
Goo.
I got that. I've been playing a little bit of that, too.
Yeah, and for anyone out there that's played it or watched it some, it's uncanny. Go look at it right now. Saruk, S-A-R-U-K, that main character in the campaign, him and Tasteless look so alike, it's actually shocking.
We sound alike, too, man. It's uncanny.
The accents are a bit different, but, I mean, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, my God, does that not look just like Tasteless? So go look that up. Saruk, S-A-R-U-K.
I know who you're talking about.
Tell me I'm wrong.
We have a proxied Stargate, Artie.
Yeah, it does look like it.
It's time to party, Artie.
Yeah, it's a super quick Stargate. A Stargate at home for Deer now. Now, he did do a scout and was counting pylons, of course. I think he knows that there's a proxy. And I think he's going to open up with a Phoenix, and if he does that, like, there's nothing in the world sadder than going Oracle against Phoenix.
Yeah, he might get Hulk smashed here.
Yeah, there's like a very good chance. Oracle's very quick. It might still get its damage in, in which case it wouldn't be so sad for him.
Oh, man, let's see if he spots it and gets confirmation here.
Oh,
it doesn't matter.
He does see it. Okay, where are his stalkers? Okay, he only has 1 here. This Oracle can still do good damage.
Nothing started yet at the Stargate. So far, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
6. He's going to go any higher. 7. He's almost out of energy.
That's fantastic.
I can't believe that. He gets away.
That's great.
Wow, 7 kills there. Nicely done by Seed. Just now, the first Phoenix is about to pop out.
You know, it's a completely different game if he has 2 stalkers at home instead of just the 1. But he didn't, and now Seed has to be feeling fantastic about his situation. It doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, Phoenix counters Oracle unless the Oracle gets a bunch of kills, and then you don't care because you can't support Phoenix with low probe counts. So this is a fantastic situation right now for Seed. And I love the fact he's going into Twilight and 2 more gates as well. He's just like, well, I don't know, I guess I'll just get Blink because that's what people do, and I'm good.
Man, it never ceases to amaze me how much an Oracle just completely wins the game. If it's just maybe 3 seconds of being left alone, the amount of damage it can actually do is incredible. We got Deer still powering just on 1 base right now.
Yeah.
I'm curious, actually, if there's any chance Seed might do anything even remotely similar in concept to what we saw in Game 1. with these two guys where he says, okay, I've already done damage. Seed.
Oh, okay.
If he's like, I've already done enough damage, I just need to use a certain window timing attack, and I win the game.
I think he absolutely could.
Uh-oh. Oh.
I think this is where you make a beeline to kill anything or scout anything you can. Oh, doesn't really get it. He actually sees a robo on the way. That's pretty good. And of course, when you see the robo on the way, you can just make a nexus. There's like, robo is the slow tech in this matchup. Well, I guess in any matchup, really. Well,
when the robo is making you, there's no way that they're going to attack into you in that period of time. So you do get your moment to try to get ahead in whatever way you can. And Expandience is probably the best way to do that. So the Mothership Core over here just taking some damage.
He's going to have to Nexus Cannon.
Yeah.
Right. All right, yeah, there it is.
He certainly took a sweet time with that.
Yeah. He wanted it to just fly away.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking. Better to lose some hit points and force that.
Yeah, I agree. It's better to just get it out immediately. And then, you know, let that be the Band-Aid solution so that you could have defense there later and not a bruised Mothership Core. Well, Seed's coming down now. Superior number of Stalkers is going to make this a little bit easier for Seed. But, of course, the two force fields, you have to be very careful with when you use your blinks if you're in that spot.
Certainly the case. That's why he was microing kind of heavily there without blinking. Needed to make sure he could get away. And, you know, Seed, definitely you still have to look at him and acknowledge that he has an advantage here, but, you know, it might not be something that just auto-wins him the game.
Well, those Stalkers now go back, and it looks like Steer should just be cleaning up this pylon and the Stargate here, which I don't think is going to be too impactful this game. Obviously, it's -1 proxy pylon, but not really a huge deal.
He doesn't care about that Stargate.
And the Forge is finishing up right now for Deer. Worker count, it's balanced out quite a bit. It's now 37 workers for Seed, and for Deer, it's 36. So pretty neck and neck.
Yeah, they really are, and I love the fact that Deer is getting that +1. A little bit slower than Seeds, but you would expect kind of everything he's doing to be just slightly slower, so considering he lost 7 probes. But it's looking like the game may pretty much normalize, you know, into a situation where there's definitely a chance for Deer.
Well, this is going to be fun. We're going to have a PvP that should go into late game then.
Yeah.
If they start to stabilize and get their tech up when they're both on 2 bases, normally there's a period of time where they can't really attack into each other as easily.
If both people have forges, like the next thing you look for is, does someone take their third before their gateways? And then does the other person make the gateways quicker and attack, or does he just make his third? That's like, and then after that, it's just like, okay, when do you get a bunch of Colossus? When are we going to fight? Like,
and it seems like at a lot of the highest level of play in PvP, normally they just sit on 2 bases and power as many gates they can possibly have, and then
very oftentimes
slow expand to a 3rd base.
We do have DT tech coming up for Deer, which is kind of cool. Definitely has the potential to do some damage. Even when your opponent has detection, a DT can easily run into an undefended mineral line and pick off several probes and get out of there with the Warp Prism, helping out. Deer trying his own Oracle here, only 2 kills.
Sometimes an Oracle at that time of the game can be really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's plenty of moments where nobody has the 2nd base or the main base protected at all.
Yeah, and for instance, if he didn't have his Nexus Cannon there, the Stalkers were out on the map.
Here we go. Perfect example right here.
That's great. Look at this. Very nice. I mean, not as powerful maybe as the 7 kills we saw earlier, especially considering it's later in the game, but that's some great mid-game harassment off that Oracle.
Well, also Deer has this Warp Prism here, and he's about to finish that Dark Shrine. So this is another way that you can punish the Protoss as they're trying to take their 3rd. I don't know if he's going to go in right away and drop it, but I would assume that's actually going to be parked out there, and he's going to try to sneak in a little bit later on. I think doing this against with a player on 2 bases is never going to be that effective. They just find you with the Observer and kill you. If they're on 3 bases, though, it becomes much more difficult to manage.
Well, in this game, right, he has almost all of his units down here. He has the Observer there. He's really not expecting... Whoa. That was a mistake. He's really not expecting this DT drop. So this DT drop actually, I think, is going to kill a decent amount.
Yeah, panic time over here. And he's
actually
got a while. That Colossus is far along enough done. You don't want to cancel it. necessarily it's a tough call because then you're even further behind. And here comes that observer out now. Luckily, he did have that observer with that army.
He did some damage, and look at this. Really nice by Deer, sending a DT into the natural now, killing off gas probes, which is really nice. Going to kill some other probes as well. These DTs doing fantastically. And look at this, comes right back in.
Oh my God.
Like this time it'll do anything. Well, at least gets a sentry for its troubles. It's not the worst thing in the world if you're going to lose the DT.
And while that's going on, Deer's expanding. No sign of an expansion here from Seed just yet. And Seed is still a little bit over 10 supply down.
I feel like Deer is just showing a higher level than Seed overall.
I got to agree.
It's even if Seed gets some advantages in the early game, and both games he did, Deer is just kind of fighting right back into it and getting himself into a good position.
Well, we have some cannons now made defensively here for Deer inside of his main. Being just very, very cautious here. You know, still no expand from Seed. He actually has to expand like in the next minute or 30 seconds or he's going to lose this game.
Is he just going to attack? I think he is.
I think he's going to do. Actually, it's funny because I was saying at the start of this, do you think there's a chance that Seed could do something like what we saw in the previous game, some kind of very specific kind of timing? And
I don't think it's going to work because it's 3 Colossus against 4, but there's if you take the left side of this third base, you know, those thermal lances are very scary to walk into. But his third Colossus is actually lagging behind. It had just finished when he was already walking across the map. So I think this is a really simple defense.
Okay,
he's suiciding on it. Okay, I like that move actually a lot. That's really good.
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
Yeah. And that gives him a quicker third. He took some damage there, but
we don't see that move used very often in PvP, but it's completely viable. If you just suicide in, even though your units aren't actually dying, but in normal case, we'd call that like a suicide kill on an expansion because you couldn't. When you focus fire the expansion with everything, that expansion dies, but then your whole army dies. The fact that he did that, shot down the expansion and then pulled out, and has now started his Nexus slightly ahead of his opponents, it really puts the pressure now on Deer to have to respond, and this is the response we're going to have.
Well, he's got to back up and get into a really good defensive position because it's 5 Colossus against, in fact, 6 against 4, I guess, is the actual number, but not all the Colossus are over here for Deer, so maybe you can do, ooh, that's a good volley right there for Deer. Well, this looks like it's really going towards Deer's favor already.
Yeah, in fact, I think this is GG. The Colossi count is just too high. The Immortals just get obliterated. There's already some Immortals here in the front. Nothing really remaining. Deer just closing in. The next Zealot wave comes up. These Colossi nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
The solidity of Deer's play here has been
pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been inspiring, really. Like, just really understands the matchup, really understands what to do. Fantastically played, really outclassing Seed in this match, unfortunately for Seed.
Well, Seed, I love his play style, but it's unfortunate that he's not able to.
He's one of the most exciting Protosses to watch, I think. Or it's generally has been in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe right this second. I mean, he's doing okay right now.
Part of me feels like Seed had that GSL Code S win because people hadn't experienced this play style before. When you had a Dark Horse player like Seed was back when he won the GSL Code S finals that were held in Busan, people had not. There were not a lot of odds with this guy. There was not a lot of information out there. Seed is a very well-known and respected pro gamer now, but I think what comes with that is the fact that you can't do a lot of these sneaky strats. This, it's a good play style, but you need to have a little bit more than just that.
I got to mention, you know what Seed is? Seed is like the first incarnation of SOS.
Yeah, he's really like the first iteration of SOS before we got a fully improved cheese macro metabot.
Well, SOS is the T1000 version of Seed. So.
We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we will be going on to our winners match to see which player will be first to move on to the round of 16 here in the GSL Code S.